John Warner, Waco Tribune here. What were kind of your thoughts when you saw Garibay line up for that 53-yard field goal?
I mean, everybody know he can kick. You know, he hasn't missed one all season, I believe. But, you know, you just got to have faith. And I had a little faith that he'd miss. I think we do a good job of getting pressure on the kicker and forcing misses. So I was just happy that he missed.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Trestan, very early in the game, you were lining up wide and, you know, getting out and getting some passes thrown your way. Was that just something you guys saw scouting report-wise, and just how effective was that?
Yes, sir. We knew we'd have mismatch if they played the right coverage, if they came out there and man. And so we got the right looks and we were able to execute them.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Trestan, particularly on the first pass, did you just have single coverage and was that just a kind of a go route, or?
Yes, sir. Linebacker walked out there with me, so all week we practiced. If a linebacker comes with me, you know, we're gonna throw it no matter what. And so we made it work.
Trestan, Kevin Lonk with Sikkim Sports. Talk a little bit about that final offensive series there where you guys went for it on fourth down. What was kind of the thinking process there, and did you guys ever talk about maybe kicking a field goal there to put you guys up 6?
No, I don't think field goal crossed anybody's mind. We have faith in the defense. We have faith in our defense, so we have faith in the offense as well. So if we didn't get it, we knew that our defense could go out there and make a stop.
Trestan, Drake told Sikkim 365, obviously the fate of playing next week is now in the hands of Oklahoma State. You got like a go Pokes, or, I mean, how are you feeling right now about that game, and how glued will you be to that?
I brought my orange hoodie with me. I only had one orange hoodie. I brought it with me. You know, we room for them. You know, we hope they pull it out and win it. You know, our faith is, our destiny's in their hands.
It's Travis Roeder, Artie of the Bears. Trestan, what was the game plan going in? Obviously, y'all looked for that man coverage early for that big pass, but it seemed like they got y'all out of sorts by the second quarter. What was the main message at halftime to get y'all back on track offensively?
Just play our game, you know, be physical, go out there and relax and, you know, have fun. I think guys were a little tense, you know, feeling like we need to do this and need to do that instead of just playing our game. So we just wanted to run the ball. And I feel like we came out in the second half and ran the ball better.
Trestan, David Smoke, you have seen it all in the last 5 years, and this was a win, the last game here, the emotions. Can you imagine not have winning your last game at McLean Stadium, and what's that like?
That would have hurt. You know, wins are hard to come by, you know, so I'm just thankful for this one, no matter what the score was. But if we didn't win this one, that would have hurt. That would have hurt a lot.
Trestan, Eric Kelly, Fox 44 Sports, right in the back. What was your impression of what Blake was able to do today, especially coming out early and then the toughness he showed to take that hit and come back in one play later?
I'm impressed by Blake. I'm not surprised. You know, Blake has a certain swagger to him, so I know he can go out there and make plays, but he's tough, man. He's not that big. And I'm running right there. I seen him get hit. I knew it wasn't good, but he came back in and ran the ball right after that, so I'm proud of him.
Trestan, Sam Conn from The Athletic. You mentioned you guys didn't hesitate on the fourth down. I'm curious, that's been a trend for you guys this year. You guys have gone for a lot of fourth downs. How much of a shift has that been from a year ago, and what is the mentality that goes into going for those fourth downs offensively?
I think the biggest mentality is just having trust, you know, having trust in all 11 guys to go out there and get a yard, get 2 yards, and if you don't get it, playing complement football and defense going out there and getting a stop.
Trestan, Chris Williams, KWTX News 10. You've played in the Big 12 title before. If you do get into that game, I mean, how special is that whole experience?
It's really special, you know. It's just a great experience. And, you know, I feel like if you win the Big 12 championship, that gets remembered forever. You know, you got the 2013 and 2014 team on the field house, and I think every team after that just want to get on there with them.
Craig Smoke, Sikkim 365 Radio. Trestan, you've been around for a long time now. 1-11, 7-6, 11-3, 2-7, 10-2, and now playing for a Big 12 title. Just what's this experience been like, and what's it like for you with this group of guys looking at that 2017 recruiting class and finishing on top? I know you still got games to play, but what does that mean to you? You came back for a reason.
It's been a roller coaster, man, up and down. I think that's just a credit to all the guys, you know, the guys that came in with me and stuck it out and we fought. I think this would make it so much better, you know, our relationships with each other, the love we have for each other, you know, because we've been through good times, we've been through bad times, you know. And so I just I think that's just a testament to my teammates, the coaching staffs we brought in. You know, they just showed us how to win. We always figured it out, and it's just great to go out on top.
Tristan, what is it about this team that was able to do what it did? Second time in 3 years you guys have won 10-plus games.
I think guys just having faith and believing, you know, buying into what Coach Aranda is preaching, and just going out there and just playing for each other. I think last year, you know, we struggled a little bit. It was like our offense couldn't get it going, so it was like an offense versus defense thing. And I think this year we just came out there and attacked it as a team.
You guys played Oklahoma State. Obviously, if you guys get the chance for a rematch, just what do you think about that possibility?
I would love to play them again. You know, when you lose to somebody, you want to get that chance to beat them. So I would love to play them again. Thank you, guys.
John Werner, Waco Trib. Terrell gave up a couple big plays of defense late in the game. Were those just breakdowns, or what happened there?
Yeah, so we had some communication issues. You know, they were going tempo and getting on the ball and running some plays pretty fast. And, you know, we kind of miscommunicated in the back end a little bit. And, you know, we were playing two different defenses. So, you know, I feel like we gave them one there.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Y'all had 2 forced turnovers today. That's 20 straight games. Talk about what the defense was able to do today and that end.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that our defense preaches, you know, every week is trying to take the ball away and give it back to our offense. And, you know, we try to cause as much havoc as possible. Coach Roberts does a great job, you know, sending us and, you know, disguising so they don't know exactly what we're in pre-snap, and I think that leads to a lot of turnovers.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Terrell, sorry. We were just talking to Trestan, sorry. So does it ever get nerve-wracking in a game like this where, you know, it's close throughout, it comes down to a kick at the end, and what's it feel like when you guys come out on top? I mean, I saw guys slipping across the field at the end of the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's nerve-wracking. It's more just fun. You know, obviously we didn't want it to come down to that, but, you know, it's a fun thing. It was a good experience. You know, we kind of had to fight through some adversity there at the end. But, yeah, man, overall it's just fun. And then, you know, exactly, especially when you come out with the win, you know, everybody's going crazy and stuff. So I think it's just a good experience, and it was fun.
Terrell, Kevin Longquist, Sikkim Sports. Did you take us through when you guys stood up Smith on that third down play before the field goal? What happened on the fourth down play where they were able to at least get themselves in a position to try and kick the game-tying field goal? Was that one of those communication breakdowns you spoke of, or what happened there?
No, so we were in a too high kind of match coverage underneath, and you know we got beat a little bit underneath. You know, in that situation, we're kind of giving them a little bit of space so we don't get beat deep. So they were able to kind of march the ball down a little bit on us. But you know the whole point is try to keep everything in front of us, make the tackles, and we know they didn't have any timeouts, so just trying to keep them inbounds and keep the clock running.
Terrell, you guys sit here, Sam Conn with The Athletic, you guys sit here 10-2. It's such a huge turnaround, one of the biggest turnarounds in the country. How are you guys able to do that as a team?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the work we put in the offseason. You know, not even just lifting weights and all that stuff, but, you know, the relationship aspect of it. I think Coach Aranda's done a great job of, you know, building the culture here and, you know, just bringing everybody together, and we're all, like, aligned on the same path and with the same goal in mind. So, like we said in the locker room, you know, he's done an amazing job just getting everybody on the same page and getting everybody moving in the same direction.
Terrell, Eric Kelly, Fox 44 Sports. What are your plans for tonight? Are you guys getting with some teammates? Are you watching Oklahoma State, OSU, or are you just gonna kind of wait for their updates?
Yeah, man, we're gonna go somewhere, someone at a teammate's house. We're having a little thing, so we'll be watching tonight for sure.
Terrell, Travis Roeder, with our Daily Bears. You got to play under Phil Snow, which was a great experience, and then another defensive mastermind comes in with Aranda and Coach Roberts. Just can you explain, like, I'm sure you feel quite fortunate for that to happen, but just explain the journey of, you know, 4 or 5 years that you've had here, coming from the port where you had like 1 million tackles, and now you got to have 1 million tackles here at Baylor, but just the journey from going as a true freshman to now.
Yeah, it's been awesome, man. You know, I've been blessed to be around some great coaches. You know, like you said, Coach Snow, Coach Saravo, my linebacker and defensive coordinator, my first 3 years here, taught me more than I could even imagine coming out of high school. And, you know, learning that system was, you know, really difficult, but, you know, we kind of all got together and just put our head down and went through it and got it. And, it was a great experience. And then, with Coach Roberts and Coach Aranda coming in, the scheme couldn't be more different. So I think having both types of mindsets as your defensive coordinator and your linebackers coach, I think that's helped me grow a lot. And, it's kind of transitioned me through my career. I feel like I've transitioned a ton since I first got here. And, I couldn't be more thankful for those guys.
Darby Brown with KWTX, Terrell back here. I kind of saw you in the tunnel before you were walking out. You just took a deep breath and, just entering the field on senior day. Were you battling any emotions and just what kind of was going through your head before the game?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to take a minute to, kind of take it all in. It's been a long, long journey. And, just realizing that was my last time running out, into McLean. And, the last time I'll be playing on the field is just, it's really just surreal. So I think just sitting there, just really taking it all in and appreciating the moment.
And Terrell, you mentioned Coach Aranda. I'm curious, what about him do you think has made him such a good fit for Baylor?
I'll say his personality. He is the most genuine, kind-hearted person you'd ever meet. You don't get that a lot out of football coaches. And, he means everything that he says, and he does what he says he's gonna do. He's a man of integrity. And, he's the same person every single day. And, I think having him in my life has been, one of the biggest changes for me, just seeing how he goes about his business every day, and the type of person that he is. It's something that I aspire to be.
Craig Smokesick and 365 Radio. Terrell, I was thinking back to that 2017 recruiting class that was kind of patched together and thinking of the guys yourself, Trestan, RJ, Abram, Ashton, Cole Maxwell, et cetera. I mean, what's the last few years been like with those guys, your brothers, going the ups and downs and everything in between?
It's been a journey, man. All those guys that you named, we've been through a lot together. We spend more time together than we do with our families, so it's been fun. It's crazy that it's finally coming to an end, but it's been a great experience. Every single one of those guys that you named, have become my brothers, and be lifelong friends. And, it's an experience that I'll never trade for anything.
Terrell, you guys finished 7-0 at McLean this season. What's that mean to you, and what made the biggest difference in terms of that home field advantage?
Yeah, man, it means everything. That's something that we preached about all offseason was, defending our home field. And, to go 7-0 and, win out here has been, just crazy. Like you said, the home field advantage has been awesome. The fans come out every single week and support us. So it's just been fun, man. I'm glad we were able to do it.
Terrell, did you guys change up anything on defense with signals, calls, et cetera, because of the information they might have with someone in Lubbock?
No, we didn't change anything. We didn't expect. I mean, if it happened, then it happened, and we would have changed it on the fly. But we didn't change anything going in.
Terrell, I'm just curious, Dave, Coach Aranda seems like a guy who really is able to deliver a singular kind of message and focus. I'm just curious, when you sit one-on-one with him, when he first got here, what was his message to you to how to get better? And have you kind of seen that happen in yourself? And what does he continue to tell you what you need to do better to get to the next level and play better at the next level?
Yeah, definitely. So the first, one of the first meetings that I had with him, he didn't say anything about himself or what he wanted. He asked, what I wanted and what the team wanted. And, I think that just kind of speaks to his personality a little bit. And then obviously, like, as you get more comfortable, you start talking more football with him, you get to recognize pretty quick, how smart he is and, the experience that he has. So, just little things like he'll come over in our individual period and say, hey, maybe get your footwork this way, and maybe, you can shade this way when you see this alignment if this play's coming. So I think just little bits of information, throughout the last 2 years has been, tremendous in my growth and progress. And, I'm gonna miss that as I move forward.
Terrell, coming into today, obviously there was a shot for the team to make the college football playoff, and now with Ohio State losing to Michigan, that chance gets a little bit better. For you, is that in your mind?
No, we weren't thinking about anything like that. We're completely focused on Texas Tech, and we're ready for whatever comes next. We're excited that we won this game, and look forward to the game later tonight, and see what happens.
If you guys get a chance to rematch with Oklahoma State, I guess, what are your thoughts about that possibility?
Yeah, we would love that. that was one of our goals, coming into the season. And, it'd just be crazy to be able to play in that game. So we did, we felt like we did our part today. Can't control what happens later, but, we'll be watching. We're excited. Thank y'all.
Hey, it's good to see you guys. Going into this game, this is probably for me just the most anxious I've been about a game. I think, not just the for us the struggle has always been, it doesn't matter. Focus on what you can control, and I think this week was a strong test to that. And I think the game that you all just saw is a testament to kind of where it's at. And so, there's for sure room to improve in that space. Whether it was battling through. I look back at myself, and should the schedule have been different, and we didn't have school this week, should have practices and meetings been in the morning. We got hit by the flu. I think we had about 20 guys down at some point during the week. And so Thursday was kind of their first day back. And so we battled through that. We'd be on bus rides and just hearing just the noises, just that we weren't past it necessarily. And then, Thanksgiving, I think, the message for us has been, hey, eyes on the front sight on the target. And I'm sure families and everything are going to be intrigued about what's going to happen tonight, with tonight's game, and just everything that that is the opposite of what we're saying. And so I think all of that's just part of it, and I think it's a great lesson, and it's a great picture of hey, what you put into it is what you get out of it. And so I'm thankful on the other end of it that we fought through. We had guys get knocked around and fight back. We had guys that were playing through sickness. I'm proud of the senior class, man. I mean, all of these guys, you think about like the ups they've been through, and you think about the downs they've been through. You think about their parents, and just like, who are these new coaches, again, and then, you think about after last year, just having the ability to leave and deciding to stay. And so just very appreciative of them. I love our senior class. I love what they stand for, and their ability to really believe and trust and be open to those things. I think it's a great lesson for me. I'll take any questions you guys got.
John Warner, Waco Trib. Dave, what was going through your mind? You saw Garibay line up for a 53-yard field goal, knowing he had hit a 62-yarder. He hadn't missed all year. What was going through your head?
I was interested to see the push that we would get. I know that we had talked about something like that early in the week about, I think last year field goals versus us was like 12-0. It was something like that. We did not last year affect anything. And I think a lot of times when you have those extra points or field goals, I think there's a there's a momentum swing. There is a intentionality of what we're trying to get done here. Are you focused in the present, or are you lagging in the past? And I think we've had great improvement in that area. And so these last couple of weeks, we've affected some of those things. So it was really, in a way, strength on strength there. So I was looking at our push and, hoping we weren't going to jump off sides or any of that.
Dave, Drake told Sikkim 365. For you, have you already sent the good luck text to Mike Gundy with the game tonight? How emotionally invested will you be in that, knowing it gives you one more week to play with these guys next Saturday?
Yeah, I'm really not. What I told the team was, so last night we have a team meeting in, prior to our curfew, and I showed a PowerPoint from January 19th, and that was our first team meeting that we had. And that was when we were recognizing our top GPA position groups from the semester prior, and that was when we introduced, new coaches, and that was when we kind of put forth, win with character and some of the things that we really believe in. And I just remember, and I look at that. There's one of the deals was alignment, and it had like a big arrow pointing like that, with a bunch of little arrows in it, all going different types of ways, which was 2020 for us. And then it had another big arrow point like that with a bunch of little arrows all pointing that way. And just going through all of that, man, just brought it back for me, from where it was to, I wish this was cleaner and better and all of it, but to where we are now. And I think, you look at that growth and you look at like what the guys are going to remember. You think about the 10 wins, and then, I don't know if there's any particular win or if there's just maybe just the growth part of it, maybe just that, accepting change, maybe that there's different ways to do stuff, maybe that, after you've been hurt, it's hard, but it's okay to trust somebody. I think of those things. And so I think, in that way, we're a winner. I think, all this other stuff's going to be extra. I know for me, my girls are probably going to be more excited about watching it. I do understand the ramifications for us, but I've always, stuff you can't control it.
Dave, Sam Conn, The Athletic. You guys have had such a dramatic shift on fourth down philosophy this year. One, I would love for you to explain kind of how that came about and how you guys became more aggressive, and also the decision at the end to go forward and kind of what went into that and how that fit into your philosophy.
Yeah, we partner with a company, CAI, and there's a former coach there, Coach Ash, that is a main piece of that. And so, we meet with him I want to say it's Thursday. This past week we met with him on Wednesday. And he'll go over kind of our situations and our calls. It's a Zoom meeting. But then he'll also pull up, throughout the week, right, the previous week, all different types of situations. And here's good decisions, bad decisions. Here's, what do you think decisions. And I know for me, if we pull all the way back on that, I know just for me, that has never really been a strength of mine prior to this. This was always something where it was purely defense. And I think managing a game and managing timeouts and just all of it was new for me. And so I knew, coming into this role, that this would be something that, I had to learn a lot, and I had to work, and find the best people to kind of pick their brains and all of it. And so I think Rob is one of them. And, so I think from that side of it, once you get into what's the best practice, logically, to go for it on fourth down, for me, ends up being the best practice because of the added confidence it gives your offense, and then the possessions that you can gain, right? I can go back to just last year, for an example, where we would get to a 4th and 1, 4th and 2 and punt, whereas now we're going for it, and if we don't get it, a lot of times they're in backed up situation, right? But if we do get it, right, it's 7 points, and I think I think you see for us, we were settling for some field goals at the end. You'd like to have 7 points, and just how the game ended, how tight that was, right, is a good argument for going for touchdowns and not field goals, And so I think those things. I also think when I was a defensive coordinator, I would not, if it was 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, I would want to see the punt team come out. I never really wanted to see, an offense kind of come out, or a skill guy, or big people, 13 personnel or something like that. And so I think those things. And then I think, at the end of the game, that's just part of our DNA. And so our kids would expect none less. I think if you have a philosophy, then the idea is that you're going to live that out.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Dave, it was a game of a lot of swings of momentum, emotion. Looked like there was going to be a pick six. Taekwon knocks it out of the guy's hand, tight end scores a touchdown, their tight end comes back. You know, I asked Terrell, in a game like this, does it get nerve-wracking? And he said, no, not really. You know, next play, da-da-da-da-da. Does that speak to the growth that you're talking about, the maturity maybe of this team?
I think so. I think, you'd like for, more positive stuff on our end and a little bit less of the negative stuff on our end, for sure. But I think, when you think about things that you can control and you think about, hey, if something happened that's not like something bad happened, that doesn't define you. That's just something that you did. Here's how we can get better from it. And then you look at the next opportunities as opportunities to learn and grow. I think all those lend to kind of being, future focused and not looking back in the past. I think the anxiety comes when you're looking back at what could have been.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Dave, was there something on film that y'all saw that you liked Trestan in the pass routes and stuff? Because this was a career day for him receiving yards.
Yeah, I thought, they have struggled with some of that in their tape. And then I think, just having Blake in there, I think having Trestan in the matchup that we had was one of our best matchups, And so not really, there's a fair amount of, so like the Iowa State and Kansas State, we call it U coverage, where it's three-man rush and all those guys in the back. So Tech had some of that today. And so I think early in the game, it was a lot of U2 coverage, cover two, 8-man drop, 3-man rush, and then once the game got tighter, they got into more man coverage. Well, the thing that works best versus both of those was primary receivers going this way and Ebb going that way. And so we're able to sneak them out and on perimeter, and then also, line them up in some slot positions and throw corner routes to them and find the dead spots in those cover two zones, and knowing that we have the time to throw those because of the 3-man rush that was happening. So I thought it was great playing by Grammy and Sean and Stuck.
Dave, Kevin Lonnquist, Sycamore Sports. To piggyback on that, what did you think of watching Shapen today?
I thought that there was times that Blake would throw a pass, and immediately as he threw it, in my head and maybe my mouth, I'm going, oh no, And so I think for Blake to come from the oh no to like a real strong yes the very next play, I think is a great statement about him, And I look at just Blake's parents, just his dad and his mom. Both of those people are just very proud, confident people, and I know they've instilled that into Blake. And when you're around them, it just radiates off of them, And so I think that is something that he carries with him, and you need it in times like that when it's tough and it's competitive and all of it, and something don't go the way you want it to go, to be able to come on back. So after those plays, those oh-no plays, there may be a timeout or something, and Sean is upstairs in the box, and he goes, hey, someone get to Blake. And then so there'd be some, like Gary may go try to get to Blake, and Blake's, I'm effing all right. So it's good. I think it was that's what you'd want to see.
Craig Smoke, Sycamore 365 Radio. Coach, a very important senior class. You talked about them a little bit earlier. There were a number of guys, though, that didn't run as seniors, and I know with the rules there's just a lot of moving parts, but is that indicative for those that didn't perform a senior day that they're planning on coming back? Is that an ongoing conversation? Sort of where are you with the roster at this point?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think there's a lot of pieces to that. I think that is one thing that is pretty strongly affected by tonight's game, is that right there on how soon do we get to those conversations. I think some of those have already occurred. I think some guys didn't walk because they, against their parents' wishes, because that's just, they want to keep stuff kind of just close to the vest and private. Then I think there's other guys that don't really still yet know what they want to do. And so there is all of that, And so I think for me, it is finding it's connecting with the parents and with those certain players at the right time to see the best course for them. I know that for some of these guys, it's really there's some time invested here, and with even that, they've been here for a while, and you'd love to have them back. And then I think for some of them, their eyes are purely on what's next, and I can appreciate that too.
David Smoke, you just went through something the last 3 weeks that's unprecedented, facing a team who had a coach that was inside your building, now in their program.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been part of you being anxious as well? How do you feel about that?
No, I think it is weird, but it's not. I didn't really think too much about that in terms of the game. I think we went through signals and went through all of it. We're going to have some coaches, some younger guys that are on our staff now that, tomorrow are going to be on that staff, And so, like, all that stuff's happening. And I think, being a young coach myself, you have an opportunity to be a full-time guy and to do all those things. I think I'm all for them, And I think at the very beginning of the week, it was like, how do you handle just, whether it's signals or how do you handle just guys that are here that are going to be there. And a lot of those guys came to me and were Coach, I know this is kind of weird. This is what Coach and I talked about, and this is what I want to do. And so just for my message was I'm all for you. And that, there's a great amount of trust here. I trust you. I trust, right? I feel like I know you, right? And so I think I put the friendship and trust in that space. And then, but I think that anxiety was just, I think there is a piece of me when the game gets tight or gets closer to the start of the game where it's just getting ready for a fight and all of it. And I think you feel that or you don't. And I think prior, just this week with whatever it was, we're fighting through, I'd never really felt it. And, we've been through something like that already just a couple weeks ago. And so was nervous about that happening again.
I'm sorry, you said you're getting ready to lose more on your staff tomorrow?
There'll be some younger coaches that'll move on, yeah. Yep.
All right, that's all the time we got, guys.
Thank you, guys.